Yo dude, it's good to see you. Welcome to the new bulking series. It's early in the morning right now. I'm gonna start making my pre-workout meal and my family's asleep, so we're keeping the volume low. So that's just the 50 grams of oats in, and then we hit it with a pinch of salt. And now it's just time to top it off with some tap water. Eesh, I put way too much just then, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so we just chuck this in the microwave for about 5 minutes and mix it in between every couple of minutes, Okay, hopefully I don't forget about it and it spills everywhere. But now it's time to make the new component, the whey drip. So we take a little bowl and we chuck in our whey protein in there. Right now I'm using the pistachio whey by Muscle Nation. So yeah, I'm gonna check if you can see, but this is how it's looking. It's looking pretty thick, pretty nice. And again, in the meantime, we just keep checking on the oats, keep stirring it up as it goes. It's still very liquidy, so it's probably going to need at least another 2 to 3 minutes. So in the meantime, now while I'm making my pre-workout meal, I always like to make up my pre-workout, so we can do that. I mean, my pre-workout's very basic though. It's literally just a scoop of Dragon's Breath. This is 200 milligrams of caffeine. I can't really do more than that. I really start to get headaches and stuff. And then just 5 to 6 grams of creatine. I'm actually needing to get a new pre-workout, so give me some suggestions. So the oats are still looking pretty liquidy, but they do tend to thicken up as they cool down, so I think this might be it for microwaving. It was about 6 to 7 minutes total, although they did explode at one point. The oats exploded. Okay, I think we're good for the berries now. So we start off with the raspberries now. I do 75 grams of each, so that's 150 total, and that's a serve of fruit basically. I used to never eat fruit. My diet used to be so cooked. I would eat one piece of fruit maybe in a week. It was bad. So now I'd put fruit in my pre-workout meal. 1 for the carbs, 2 just to make sure that I get some fruit in my diet. Okay, now we got the blueberries. So then I just chuck this in the microwave for 30 seconds just because I don't like my fruit to be too frozen. I like them to be a little bit soft. I used to do this, the whey drip on top of my oats, 2 to 3 years ago when I first ever started lifting and was bulking, was making protein oats. I did that for a couple of months and then I got sick of protein oats for some reason, but yeah, just a little bit nostalgic, I always like to top my oats off with some cinnamon. I just love the flavor of cinnamon. Don't ask me why, it's just essential. It smells so good. So here we have the final product. I mean, looking pretty good. Let's eat. I also just want to mention that I do have one of these hydration sticks normally before I lift. It's just a little bit of electrolytes just to kind of keep my energy levels up and stuff, you know what I mean? But yeah, basically, if it wasn't clear before, I'm thinking of doing kind of a bulking series now, actually kind of following my progress, because I plan on this being kind of my last big bulk before I cut for a show. I feel like it'll be interesting to kind of watch me kind of grow sort of progressively, And plus this kind of keeps me accountable, so I won't want to quit the bulk if I get a little bit too fat, you know what I mean? Which I don't know why I'm so scared. I honestly loved being fat, when I was on the bulk when I was 78 kilos, I was pretty high body fat percentage, but I just felt jacked, so it was great. The strength gains and all that was so good. We'll talk about my plans a little bit more later in the video, but yeah, just gonna eat this and then head to the gym. Okay, so we just did a pretty good push session. Now it's time to get the post-workout meal cooking. So we're back in the kitchen. So this is the post-workout meal. The eggs, the bagel, all that. I feel like if you've seen my shorts, you've seen this many a time, or any of my other videos actually, because I do eat the same meal all the time. So the first thing we get on the pan is actually the spinach, not the eggs. This cooks pretty quick, so I just chuck it on, let it heat up a little bit, and then we do the eggs. But in the meantime, we can probably get the bagel going, so let's do that. So we just chuck that in the toaster. That's pretty easy. I still use bagel thins. They're like half the calories of a regular bagel. It's half the size of a regular bagel, but it's still the same kind of volume, and I don't need that much carbs because I'm already getting carbs from the kiwi as well. So it's kind of like a good mix. A little bit of refined carbs, a little bit of the sort of, what's the other word for it? Not refined carbs from the kiwi. I don't know what it's called. The pan's starting to heat up, so we're just going to hit it with a little bit of an oil spray and then add the spinach. In the meantime, we'll just chuck the sauerkraut now onto the plate. So now I'm a little bit extra. I like to use 3 different kinds of sort of pickled cabbages, basically. We have this dill pickle sauerkraut, we got a vegan kimchi, and a dill pickle sauerkraut. These are all pretty delicious, and I like having that mix of flavors. It sort of makes things taste better without having to add like a ton of seasoning or stuff to my food. Which again, I do aim for my meals to be a little bit more bland because I don't want to sort of crave meals more so. I mean, it's more so when I'm cutting. I guess now when I'm bulking, I can kind of flavor things up a little bit more, but we'll see. And again, this is 25, 25, 25 of each. Okay, I reckon at this point now the spinach is normally done, so we'll chuck this onto the plate and then we start cooking the eggs. Now these eggs are actually pretty big. I normally like to have eggs that are around 50 grams. These ones are about 60, I think, so it's going to be 220 grams all up. I prefer smaller eggs normally, but this is fine. So yeah, this was actually 230 grams of eggs all up, which is quite a bit. Sometimes it's normally like 180, so pretty big eggs. And 2 of the yolks broke, which is depressing. So I don't normally eat too much fresh fruit. The only thing I really eat right now is kiwis, and when I'm on a cut, it might be strawberries. I always get this from like an organic market most of the time. The thing about going to an organic market is sometimes the selection's a bit limited, and so we have these massive kiwis. I prefer my kiwis to be about 100 grams. This one's probably going to be like 120 to 130. But again, on the bulk, so I don't think it's the biggest deal. You know what I mean? So the kiwi comes to 120 grams, and we cut it up all nice, make it look really good for the TikTok full day of eating. The eggs still need a bit, so now we'll do the bagel. Now, if you want to learn one thing about me, it's that I'm a really big jam enthusiast. I love so many flavors of jams. I like trying new ones. Right now, I'm doing the apple and cinnamon. Another fact about me, I love apple cinnamon flavor, apple pie, oh, the best. So that's that, and now it isn't a hell of a video if there's no cottage cheese. We just chuck this 100 grams onto the bagel, and we're pretty much set. I put the bagels on a separate plate because then this is like the dessert after the meal, you know, a little sweet treat. And now the eggs are done, so we can just chuck these on the plate. Even though there was 2 cracked yolks, I still cooked the eggs pretty nice, so that's good. I normally overcook them pretty badly. But now it's just time for the finishing touches. So on top of the eggs goes a chili. So the final step for the eggs is hot sauce. Now I have a whole drawer of hot sauces, so it's always a bit of a struggle picking what to do on the day. Okay, so I think I'm going to go with this Forelli extra hot sauce. This is just an original hot sauce. I kind of want the flavor of like the chili and the sauerkraut to come through today, so this is just a bit of a plain one. And the final step is just to add a little bit of cinnamon on top of the bagel. I mean, look at that, man. Come on now. Delicious. So here it is, the post-workout meal. Again, 4 eggs, kiwi, spinach, sauerkraut, bagel, cottage cheese. All pretty good stuff, which I also realized I should probably tell you the macros of these meals, which I can't remember now off the top of my head. I think the pre-workout oats is about 400 calories. I think it's like 30 grams of protein, 40 to 50 grams of carbs, and this is a pretty similar meal. It's about 30 to 40 grams of protein, 50 grams of carbs again, but this one also has more fat. So this meal's about 30 grams of fat because of all the eggs, which I like having fats in my post-workout meal just because this is kind of when I have like the biggest break between meals from now to like my next one. So the fats will slow down the digestion, which will keep me fuller basically until my next meal. Now here I wanted to basically just discuss sort of my plans with the bulk. This morning I weighed in at like 65.5, I want to say, but I think today was just a bit of an off day and I'm normally around 64.5. My plan is to bulk to 70 kilos, maybe a little bit past that. I don't know, we'll have to see when time goes on. But this is going to go from now, which it's August now, until it's predicted to be about March, which is I think 6 months. That's a pretty long time, I think. Actually, that's 7 months. So, oh, eggshell. Oh, okay, that was gross. So the plan is to gain around 100 grams a week, 400 in a month. Basically, it's like 0.2% of my body weight. I want to keep it slow. My last little bulk before my maintenance phase, I gained way too fast. I gained about a kilo a month, and it was mostly just because I had just come off the cut and I was just so hungry after the cut that I just wanted to up my calories straight away. So I kind of messed up there. I take accountability for that. But yeah, now the plan is to just do a very slow bulk, build up my strength, build up some good muscle. I'm going to focus on my weak points, obviously, which I still need to do a check-in video right now, but I still think my weak points are basically my calves, forearms, biceps and glutes, essentially, and shoulders kind of a little bit, like my side delts the most, I think. My front delts are pretty developed. Yeah, essentially that's the plan. Like I'm going to bulk until March of next year, maybe even longer than that. And then ideally, hopefully, I can kind of prep for a show. I don't know, we'll see. You also might be wondering what show I'm going to prep for or what division. I have no idea. I have not ever spoken to a coach. I don't really know what my body's built for. Probably bikini, to be honest, because I don't think I have enough muscle for any other division, especially like naturally. I mean, ideally, I kind of would want to do women's bodybuilding just because I like all the regular, like classic poses, but I'm definitely not jacked enough. And if I wanted to go sort of into a, what is it? If I wanted to go into like a not, what's a not natural competition called? Like the actual sort of like IFBB or whatever. Yeah, I'm not making it into women's bodybuilding naturally. And I don't really feel like taking freaking Anavar or trying to look like freaking Iris Carl or something, so that's pretty much the plan. Also, right now, I'm eating 2,200 calories on my training days, and depending on how many rest days I have in the week, I normally have one or two. It'll be around 1,500 to probably like 1,700 calories on the rest days. But again, that's just like 100 grams less carbs, whatever. That's pretty much the plan. So I'm just gonna eat this, and then I'll see you at the next meal. Couple of hours since my last meal, so now it's time for meal number 3, the hockey, broccoli, and avocado. Now I've just meal prepped some fresh hockey, so this is going to be a pretty delicious meal because the hockey's still going to be pretty moist, I think. Now when it comes to meal prepping, I like to just meal prep my ingredients. So I will cook my hockey one day of the week. It will last me 5 days. The other 2 days of the week I do like tuna or some other kind of fish. And then we just have the frozen broccoli and avocado. So it makes things easier, and it also means that I can change around the macros whenever I need to. So if I need a little bit less fats for one day, then I can just put less avocado, you know? Or if I need less protein, I can just use a can of tuna instead of the hockey. And it also means that I can swap out the flavors with different hot sauces and toppings and things like that. So today it's 200 grams of hockey, 75 grams of broccoli, and 100 grams of avocado. Now we put the hockey and broccoli in the microwave first, and then we just top it off with avocado and some green chili and stuff. But besides the hockey, I don't normally meal prep anything else. When I'm deep in a bulk, I might meal prep like my rice and stuff, but I am more of like a putting the ingredients together kind of person rather than having set meals. And it's not because I find the same meals boring, because I literally eat the same meals every day, but I think I'm just so traumatized from some of my terrible meal preps that I just like to do it like this so things stay fresh. I'm having some serious flashbacks right now to some of the terrible meal preps I've done in the past. Dry ass pasta, sweet soup. Ugh, I just do not know how to cook sometimes. So that was in for about 3 minutes. Top it off with some fresh green chili. And today I'm feeling just like the regular old Cholula, which is so good, man. Well, here's the most stereotypical bodybuilding meal of all time, second to chicken and rice, of course. Time to eat. Meal 3 comes to about 350 calories. I think it's 40 grams of protein, 15 grams of carbs, and 20 grams of fats. Again, this meal is when I focus again on proteins and fats because that's what I need more than carbs. Although now with the bulk, probably later on I will start adding rice or something. But I don't need those calories as of right now, and I'd probably rather put the carbs towards my pre-workout and post-workout meal. I'm just going to smash this down now and I'll see you in a bit. It's dessert time. You're probably wondering what happened with dinner. My aunt ended up picking up some sushi, so I just ate that with her and my brother. It was like 2 platters worth. It was quite a bit of sushi. I probably had maybe 20 to 25 pieces. It was like a mix of rolls, a little bit of nigiri and stuff, salmon, soft shell crab, tuna, all that. I mean, absolutely delicious. It was insanely good. I haven't had good sushi in a really long time, so it was great. And I don't think there's any better way to start the bulk than with sushi, you know? I think the final calories for the day come to about probably like 2,400. Just because the sushi kind of bumped it up a little bit. Again, normally it's going to be about 2,200, but cheat meal's a cheat meal, you know, like gotta live a little bit. Pretty much just going to spin this, chill with family, watch a movie. I also just wanted to quickly say thank you for 500 followers. Oh, I think we're almost at like 600 now. So it turns out that it actually takes me so long to edit a video that we're now at 732 subscribers to be exact, which is absolutely insane to me. It's so unreal. Like, thank you guys again so much. Anyways, back to the video. But it means a lot that a lot of you want to just hang out with me and watch my journey, I guess. It's pretty insane to me. I don't know. It's just weird. But yeah, again, thank you. That's pretty much it for the day though. So I guess we'll see you in the next episode. Yep.